Alright, so first of all, kailangan natin i-prepare is yung lapis or yung pencil. So, mas maganda kung H or 2H or basta light yung lapis para hindi siya masyadong mag-stand out when you do your sketch. Then, you will now need your watercolor set. So, this is my old watercolor set, which I had since college. So, this is Prang yung brand nito. So, halos ubos na yung iba, kaya makita nyo may konting refills ng tubed watercolors. Okay? So, i-prepare natin yan. Open the watercolors and prepare your paint brushes. And always make sure na meron kang isang baso or something where you can wash your paintbrush. Okay? So, you will also need some canisters, small canisters. This is, I'm using this because wala akong mixing plate at the moment, so I will be using recycled ketchup containers. Okay, so first, kailangan natin i-sketch yung figure. So, start tayo with a very light sketch using the pencil. So, what I will be sketching right now is a box. So, ayan. So, in the video, halos hindi makita yung sketch lang because this sketch is just a guide for you to use bago kayo mag lagay ng watercolor. Okay? So, yan. Alright. So, pagtapos na yung figure, you will now indicate where is the light source of your object. So, hanapin natin kung saan yung light source. It can either be on the left side, on the right side. So, for this drawing, we will be using the right side. So, yan. Doon manggagaling yung ilaw. So, what does that mean? It means that this part here will be the one which will be lighter in color. Itong part na nandito naman sa left will be the one with shadows and will have the darker shade. So, yun yung una natin i-identify. Because this will be the markers kung saan yung darker shades or yung lighter shades. Lalo na at gagamitan natin sila ng gradient. So, this is the lighter and this is the darker. Right? So, ngayon, we will be preparing the colors we will be using. So, since wala akong mixing plate, I will be using this canister, small canister, in order to mix our colors. I will fill it up with water dahil ito yung magiging medium natin for the watercolor. Okay? So, first, we will now select which color to use. So, try natin itong blue. Right? So, unang gagawin natin is kukuha ka ng konting watercolor, then i-dissolve mo siya sa tubig. Ayan. So, as you can see, i-dissolve yung watercolor sa tubig and it's not that dark. It's actually still transparent. Also, if wala kayong canister, you can use other plastic containers or plastic covers. Basta may enough space for the water and for your watercolor mixture to be mixed. Okay? So, you can recycle anything. So, for example, this one. This is another container wherein we will be mixing another a darker shade of the blue color. Okay? Bakit natin sineseparate? Para hindi iisa yung pag-mix na natin ng color blue and magkakaroon ng difference in gradient. Okay? So, test natin. Ayan. So, pag titignan natin, ganun ka-light yung ipapakita mong color. Ayan. Spread it on the paper. Then, watch closely as you add more watercolor into the water mixture. Medyo nagiging darker or mas nagiging emphasized yung blue color. Okay? So, yun yung gagawin natin. Now, let's start applying watercolor with the paintbrush. So, when you're applying watercolor, make sure na iisa yung stroke na ginagamit mo. So, I'm using a downward stroke for this side. And for the other side, you can use another stroke as long as uniform yung pag-stroke natin. Ayan. As you can see, hindi ganun ka tingkad yung kulay. Medyo transparent. Very, very light yung blue. na nakikita natin dito sa painting natin. Okay? So, we will always start with the lighter shade of color kasi pag natuyo yan, tsaka na natin siya papatungan ng darker. Right? Okay. So, as you can see, dinivide natin kanina yung darker and the lighter side. Okay? Take note of the source of light and kung saan siya tatama and saan magkakast yung shadow. Right? So ngayon, habang hinihintay natin matuyo yung unang layer ng watercolor, we will be adding more watercolor to the mixture to make it a bit darker. So, ipapatong natin ngayon siya sa nauna nating darker shade of watercolor. So always test pa rin kung ano yung kakalabasan niyang mixture and compare it to the previous one. Okay? You can use another sheet of paper para hindi maging madumi yung paper na ginagamit. I'm just using the same paper as my testing paper for demo purposes. And so, make sure na dun sa right ay lighter part. Then, dito tatama yung ilaw. Okay? Dito naman sa left, yung darker. So, dun tayo mag-apply ng darker shade of color. So, as you can see, yun, napapatungan na natin yung unang layer and mas matingkad na yung kulay niya. And mas dark in a sense. So, yun yung gamit ng using layers of watercolor application. And, inuunat natin talaga yung lighter shades of color. Ayan. So, one more thing, kaya ang magandang papel na ginagamit for watercolor painting is yung makakapal. And the reason for that is that pag mas makapal yung papel, mas marami siyang water na ma-absorb. And since in watercolor, you will be utilizing a large amount of water mixed with colors, so magpapatong-patong yan, the higher your paper's GSM, mas madaling magtrabaho or gumawa ng painting gamit watercolors. Okay? So, we'll be mixing also a darker shade of the blue for the edges. So, ayan, pinatest ulit natin kung mas dark ba siya kaysa sa mga naunang layers. So, before natin i-apply. So, ayan, i-apply na natin yung darker shade. So, dun tayo sa mga corners. So, we will be putting it starting from the corners in order to emphasize the edges of the figure. So, parang nagiging outline siya with the darker shade of color. So, iniiwasan pa rin natin yung right side na malagyan because it is the one being hit by the light source. So, dito sa left, ito yung bandang part na shaded because ito yung nahaharangan ng ilaw. Right? Then, apply lang natin sa mga outlines. And let's wait for it to dry before placing anything more. Alright? So the next thing that we will be doing is to check if it's already dry before using your fine liner pens, tech pens for the outline of the figure. So ito yung madalas na ginagamit sa architectural renderings, manual, pag kailangan mabilisan yung rendering. Because watercolor dries fast, then kukuha mo yung effect of the washes, and it can be very beautiful in terms of presentation. Right? So, hinintay nating matuyo yung watercolor para pag nag-apply na tayo ng fine liner pens is hindi na mas-spread yung ink or yung watercolor pa. Okay? So, add some detail shadowing here. Ayan. So, there you have your figure. So, some presentations, naglalagay pa sila ng mga hatching in the shaded areas, pero it's up to you in your preference kung saan mas effective. Ngayon, take note that this part is the shaded part And this part is the lighter part. And you can see it naman na there is the gradient affecting colors. Right? So, thank you for listening and see you in the next lesson.